Hi guys, JT here. Today I'm bringing you some information on Digiphile's Boomer Shooter Indie Spotlight Bundle of February 2026. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel in the process. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you the viewers for watching my silly videos. I hope they're helpful. Most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. But first, a word from our sponsor, JT After Dark. You've read the threads, you've seen the warnings, but you haven't heard them like this. I'm JT. I take the internet's most terrifying stories and give them a voice. From Reddit's deepest archives to the legends that haunt the web, I bring the horror to life. Join me on JT After Dark. Subscribe now and let's see what's hiding in the shadows. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have TEXNOPLAZM, a high-octane first-person beat-em-up and shooter that drops you into a future that never was. A gothic European cityscape where advanced magic functions as technology. You play as the girl with no name, a TEXNOPLAZM android who has transitioned from a mindless street gang doll to a free-willed machine fighting on pure instinct. The core gameplay centers on a fluid, aggressive gunfu system. You must switch between combat styles on the fly, blending 3 distinct movesets: bare-hand fisticuffs, melee weapons, and firearms. The combat is tactical yet twitchy. You're encouraged to rip weapons from enemies and chain movement abilities for inventive takedowns. While the fists and guns feel incredibly powerful, you might find the melee weapons slightly underpowered in comparison, though they remain vital for parrying. Visually, the game is a triumph of cyberpunk fantasy aesthetics, blending low-poly pixelated textures with modern lighting to evoke a nostalgic PS2 era atmosphere. This is bolstered by a fire electronic soundtrack that perfectly matches the energy of the room-to-room shredding. However, the game is currently in early access, and it shows in the map design. While the environments look stunning, the platforming and puzzles are somewhat basic, and many upgrades are hidden behind tedious secrets rather than a robust shop. Despite these minor growing pains, TEXNOPLAZM offers a solid stylish foundation. If you enjoy technical brawlers or spectacle fighters, you'll find it an addictive, easy to pick up experience that rewards mastery. It is a bold, inventive take on the genre. At number 2 we have KILLBUG, a game where your prime objective is quite straightforward: annihilate swarms of insects. The game, rooted in the nostalgia of classic shooters, will pique your interest with its promise of wasp annihilation, a personal vendetta against the stinging adversaries from your childhood. However, your initial glee will turn to regret as the game over screen revealed your demise by a bee sting. It was a poignant moment, considering the critical role bees play in the ecosystem. The cardinal rule in KILLBUG is ceaseless movement. Any moment of pause invites a swarm of relentless attackers. This endless arena shooter, reminiscent of older classics, compels you to navigate maps teeming with bugs until your inevitable defeat. The brilliance of KILLBUG lies in its simplicity. With just 2 weapons, an Uzi and a knife, the focus shifts to chaining attacks seamlessly. Melee strikes not only deal damage, but also replenish health and ammo, encouraging a dynamic and engaging combat strategy. The game introduces a gradual escalation of enemy types, each teaching valuable lessons about the mechanics without overwhelming you. Despite its simplicity, the gameplay is incredibly smooth, offering a thrilling experience when you're in the zone. KILLBUG's simplicity, however, becomes a double-edged sword, as minor issues in graphics and presentation become more poignant. The muddy color palette and lackluster soundtrack are notable drawbacks, but the game's core fun factor and satisfying gameplay outweigh their concerns. KILLBUG excels as a game you can quickly immerse yourself in for short bursts, offering an adrenaline-pumping experience. While it lacks extensive content beyond high-score chasing, its simple yet effective design makes it an enjoyable and entertaining title. The thrill of a flawless run and the insect-based enemies contribute to the game's overall appeal, despite its graphical and auditory shortcomings. At number 3 we have Hands of Necromancy II, a retro-inspired first-person shooter that channels the spirit of 90s classics like Doom and Hexen, but with a twist. You're wielding powerful magic instead of guns. In this sequel by the HON team, you'll choose between 2 unique characters: Acheron, a Crimson Mage, and Phaedra, a Dark Witch. Each character comes with their own set of magical abilities and weapons, giving you different ways to wreak havoc on your foes. The game offers 3 episodes, totaling 27 stages to explore. You'll face an array of enemies, from sorcerers launching fireballs to web-shooting spiders. As you progress, you'll gain transformative abilities, like turning into a swamp serpent or hellburner, adding new tactical layers to your exploration. The game's expansive levels encourage thorough exploration to discover hidden secrets, key items, and alternate paths. The combat is fast-paced and fluid, making use of both melee and ranged magical attacks. Whether you prefer the precision of a keyboard and mouse, or the comfort of a controller, the controls are responsive and intuitive. Bringing fallen enemies back to life to fight by your side adds a strategic edge, especially in more challenging encounters. Visually, it captures the blocky charm of its retro inspirations, while delivering diverse atmospheric environments like castles, caves, and deserts. The epic soundtrack perfectly complements the dark, magical setting. If you're a fan of old-school FPS games with a modern magical twist, Hands of Necromancy II is a nostalgic journey worth taking. And number 4 we have Wrack, Reclamation, an arcade-style FPS and Unreal Engine 4 remake of the 2014 cult classic. Taking inspiration from Doom and Quake, you play as Kane, the lone defender against an invading force of aliens and robots. This boomer shooter ditches pixel art for a vibrant stylized comic book aesthetic, complete with smooth animations and action text that makes every encounter feel like a living graphic novel. The core gameplay loop is built entirely around momentum. You do not just kill enemies, you mow them down to maintain a kill streak timer. You can even reset this timer by jibbing corpses with your melee sword or firearms. As you deal damage, you build up hyperblasts, devastating special attacks unique to each weapon. Your expanded arsenal now includes the glue gun, SMG, and railgun, all featuring new alternative fire modes that add tactical depth to the fast-paced combat. While the campaign is relatively short, usually taking about 2 to 3 hours, you'll find high replay value in chasing high scores on Boulder Dash difficulty or hunting for hidden secrets. The movement is fluid, allowing you to super jump through levels that flow better than the original. Although some players report minor performance dips on high shadow settings and a brief tutorial that leaves advanced mechanics for you to discover, the overall experience is stellar. With a dynamic soundtrack and voice acting by Gianni Matragano, it is the definitive version of Wrack. You'll love every second of this high-fidelity, hyper-violent, and incredibly satisfying arcade shooter. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle is an absolute steal for $5. You're getting 4 high-octane gems, TEXNOPLAZM, KILLBUG, Hands of Necromancy II, and Wrack Reclamation, that deliver pure retro carnage. If you're diving into KILLBUG's endless arena or the occult chaos of necromancy, the value here is legendary. If you've already cleared the main Blueprint collection, this Spotlight is the perfect DLC for your library. Don't sleep on it. Grab these keys and go full beast mode. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.